Hey there guys, TechPC Guy here, and today we're going to be testing gaming with stuff open in the background against gaming with just the game open. Everything you have open in your computer takes resource to run, be it GPU processing power or CPU processing power or RAM, so it all competes for your CPU's attention, and obviously the less stuff you have running, the more power available it is to your game, and the better FPS you'll get. It is however very convenient to have things open in the background. Most of us probably keep a couple tabs open on Chrome or Firefox. We might have launchers like Battle.net or such, and in my case, I have quite an amount of things like, let's say, Afterburner is open, Twitch is open, right now OBS because I'm streaming obviously. I have Skype running in the background, my headset controller, AI suite from Asus, and well, yeah, obviously a lot of other stuff like this is from WoW. So I do have quite a bit of stuff open right now, which I will be using to test how the game actually performs. I'll be recording a little bit on a few games, probably Metro Exodus as well as Doom 3, to see what impact these things have in the frame rate. Metro Exodus is a very, well, a bit of a more demanding game with everything set on max, while Doom is a game that will basically run on a potato and will give us high FPS regardless, to see what the effect is on both types of games and what well effect those background processes have on your frame rate. It's not the most thorough of benchmarks, but it will be enough to give us an idea on what the trend is and what you can expect when you have a lot of stuff open in the background running. So first off, I'll do a run with all the stuff open. I will show you the results, and after that I will just shut down everything I can on my PC, turn everything off, except obviously the game, the recording software, and MSI Afterburner, which will provide us with the details that we actually need to see on the frame rate. It doesn't really matter the details of the system I'm running, but I'm going to list them anyway for the sake of completion. It has a 9700K overclocked to 5 GHz. We have a 1660 Ti, a little bit overclocked with Afterburner, not a whole lot. 16 gigs of RAM, and well, running off an SSD obviously. Being outside in an environment, which is the best way to really test it, other than those dark tunnels that you start the game in, you can see that the FPS are hovering around the 60 something, 65-ish, with an average at, well, 67. So yeah, this is pretty much what you can expect while playing the game with a lot of stuff in the background running. Playing Doom right now with the same load on the CPU is giving me around 150 something, 160 FPS. As you can see, the GPU is less stressed, well, which is a much less well, demanding game. So yeah, this is how what it is performing with the load on this PC that I described previously. Everything open, stuff open, browsers, game launchers, installers, and all that sort of thing. So now that I've established our worst case scenario, let's try it with everything closed. Browsers closed, I'll turn off the RGB lights, I'll turn off wallpaper engine to free some load from the GPU, turn off all those launchers and all the things that are not necessarily essential to keep your PC running, and try running the games again with only the basics, which like I said will be the recording software, the game itself, and MSI Afterburner to provide us with the statistics. Going back to Metro, with everything closed, that goes literally everything, including, for example, Aura, GPU engine, all that sort of stuff, you can see the difference. It's at 78, 79, nearing the 80 FPS on average, with the exact same scene, the exact same scenario. So, well, yeah, that's 10 to 15 FPS difference from just closing all the stuff that you have on the background. Hopping back to Doom, and I realized after watching the footage from the first clip that you could not see the counter from Afterburner on the top left, but you could hear my commentary anyway. I'm not sure if you can see it this time, but in any case, we are seeing now 196, 195 FPS. So that is also quite an increase from the 160 something that we were seeing when all our stuff was open in the background. 30 FPS increase in this case is quite noticeable as well. So obviously this was some very quick and dirty testing, only tested 2 games, didn't really play with settings or anything else, but it was enough to get an idea of how much of an impact the stuff you run on your background while you're gaming can have on your PC. Now this was the effect that it had on I would say reasonably on the higher end setup. If you have a PC that's struggling to even run the game, you will notice an even stronger effect than you are right now. Besides, if you are running at lower frame rates and if you are having issues with actually playing the game and having it run at a playable frame rate, then it will be even more important, because it's a lot more important to jump from, let's say, 20 FPS to 30, 35 than from 80 to 90 or something like that, or from the 165 that we saw on Doom to 190, it's definitely not going to have as much of an impact as if you are at the lower end of the scale and get a few extra FPS to help you actually be able to play the game. However, even if you are on a bit of a higher end machine, it might still be worth it trying to get those extra frames. If you are running, for example, a high refresh rate display and you can actually take advantage of all the frame rate that you can possibly get out of a game, then it is still worth getting for that and closing as much background stuff as you can. Now, obviously, this is the part where performance meets convenience, and you have to decide for yourself if those frames are more important than having to open a browser or a game launcher every single time, as opposed to just having them run in the background. That's up to you and that's your personal decision. But as far as performance goes, this is kind of the hit you can expect from having stuff open in the background. I created kind of a extreme scenario. I had a lot of stuff open in the background while I was doing that, so in general, day to day, the impact might be a little bit less, but in any case, the impact is there and it exists, and well, as you can see, it does make quite a bit of a difference. I'll be trying to do a video in the future about the actual in-game settings and how much of an effect they have in the game, both in terms of the performance that you can expect and the performance hit that you get from going higher with the settings, but also how much difference do they actually make in how you perceive the game and how good it looks and how well it plays. So I'll try to do that in the near future, so keep your eyes open for that if you want to optimize your performance while gaming. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed the channel and would like to help us grow in the future. Otherwise, check the rest of our content. Maybe there's some nice stuff for you there as well. This has been Natic PC Guy. Hope I'll see you in the next video. And in the meantime, have fun.